What is up, Ravens flock? Huge shout out for your support for the 410 Sports Talk. James and Glenn are the best in the business. They're killing it right now. They love talking Raven talk. Make sure you go subscribe to their channel. Let's go Ravens. Big trust.
Hey guys, welcome into another episode of 410 Sports Talk. I'm James Haskell, along with my co-host Glenn Martin. With a new guest in front of the show, Scott Wright from the Oklahoman, a football writer there. And he's here to talk to us about Tylan Wallace. We cannot wait to talk about this guy. A lot of fans are really high on him. So, Scott, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, first thing I want to know is I heard some people say Tylan. So is it Tylan? Is it Tylan? Can you clarify his pronunciation?
It is Tylan. I can verify that for sure.
Good. So we can – and now do you know if he was donned the nickname Tylenol yet? Because we're trying to make that happen.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that. That's solid. His nickname that he came to Oklahoma State with was Superman, which is also fitting.
Not a bad one either.
Not bad at all. So it's solid.
Cool. All right.
Nice.
Well, so maybe we can get the Tylenol going, Jimbo.
There you go. That's right. So the first question we got to ask, and we do this with every guest that we have on, we're talking about new acquisitions, whether it's free agency or the draft, is really around the type of player that he is as a teammate and as a person, not necessarily on field, but the type of guy that he is, I guess I should say. The Ravens talk about spending more time looking at that part of the person and that piece of the equation than even the on the field stuff. Because Eric DeCosta wants reporters to come in the locker room and say, that was a really classy guy that was easy to talk to. So talk to us and the fans about Tylan Wallace as the person, as the teammate.
He is an exceptional character guy. You're not gonna find many guys coming into the league that are as calm, laid back, good natured, team guy. There's just tons of good things you can say about him as a person, on and off the field. He is incredibly self-aware, very intelligent, and he just exudes class. He is definitely the type of guy that's going to fit that mold if that's what they're looking for.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, that's good to hear. And it seems like the Ravens only draft good guys because that's what we've heard about all the other members of this draft class. So that's good to hear. All right. So I want to get right into, a lot of what Tylan does that made him so attractive to, our fans is those jump balls, those 50-50 balls. And at just 5'11", Tylan doesn't have that prototypical size to be that jump ball receiver that his quarterback can just throw it up in those one-on-one situations and trust him to come down with it. But then I see he had 46 contested catches since 2017, which ranks first in college football. So what makes Tylan so good at coming down with those 50-50 balls despite the fact that he's under 6 feet tall?
That's I wish I had a great answer for you guys. It's just an uncanny ability that he has. He's one of those guys, and I hate to sound like a coach talking here, but he plays bigger than he is. He's exceptional in traffic. He's got really good timing in terms of going up for the ball to high point it. He's got the ability to adjust to the ball in the air and get himself in position for those catches. You obviously, I know you guys have looked at his highlight reel from Oklahoma State, and you see some of the catches that he makes in traffic or in one-on-one situations, and just really impressive in what he does, going to get the ball, adjusting to it when it's in the air, and getting his hands on it. It got to the point by the end of his career that you were more surprised when he didn't come up with a circus catch than when he did, because he was so consistent at going up and getting the ball and making incredible catches in traffic.
Yeah, I agree. Now, just to play devil's advocate here, and you can let me know if I'm totally off. Some people look at that stat and will say, well, he didn't get separation, so he had to make contested catches. So how is Tylan as a route runner? Did he have issues, with separating due to poor route running?
I don't think that he had an issue because of poor route running. There were times when he was a little soft at the line of scrimmage, I thought, and could have pushed himself into better situation, let himself get pushed outside, and then the running or the defensive back could stay under him and run with him. But for the most part, he was a guy that was in a lot of double teams too, and that's where a lot of those contested catches came. Was when he had two guys on him, had a safety coming over across the top, things like that. So I don't think he's a bad route runner. I think he's really solid in his route running. There are times that he gets pushed off at the line of scrimmage a little bit too hard, but a lot of his contested catches were in double team situations or things like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's gonna have a lot of practice at the line of scrimmage with the corners we got, because they're gonna, Marlon's gonna be up in his grill. Same thing with Marcus Peters, Jimmy Smith, and those are, 2 out of 3 of them are extremely physically imposing corners. So he's gonna have a lot of opportunities to improve there. Now, do you think that naturally improved quarterback play is gonna help? Do you think that some of that, what people perceive as lack of perception or lack of separation also was due to, quarterbacks throwing into the coverage and things like that as well?
Yeah, there were a lot of times when if a quarterback, no matter who it was at Oklahoma State, saw a one-on-one opportunity with Tylan Wallace, they were going that direction, and it didn't matter what kind of coverage he was in, so or how tightly he was covered. So if they got a one-on-one opportunity, they trusted that he was going to go make a play, and so he got the ball thrown to him a lot in situations when others might not go there. They might go on to their second read and find somebody that's more open, but he was a guy that, from Taylor Cornelius to Spencer Sanders to Drew Brown to Shane Illingworth, all that he's played with during his career, they all knew they could go to him in tight situations.
Wow,
Nice.
yeah, that's cool to hear, because I don't know if there's another NFL team that can almost guarantee one-on-one coverage on the outside than the Ravens with that running game and of course Lamar Jackson coming to town. So he's going to have some one-on-one opportunities, and we'll see what he can make of them at the next level. But when the offseason began, Scott, some draft analysts suggested that despite Tylan leading the nation in plays over 20 yards, that he lacks the top-end speed to separate from high-level cornerbacks at the next level. And then reports come out and say that Tylan ran a 4.39. I heard a 4.48 on his 40, depending on where you look and which pro day. And that seems really fast. But, of course, all 40 times seem really fast this year without the centralized combine. So what are your thoughts on his speed, and do you think he's fast enough to get that separation down the field in the NFL?
I do think that he's got that type of speed. He wasn't asked to run those type of routes a lot at Oklahoma State, because he had so much double coverage, especially after about midway through his sophomore year when he had really started to explode. The double teams kept coming, so trying to take the top off of a double team is pretty tough when they've got a safety playing really deep. So he didn't get asked to run a lot of those routes, but I think that he's got the speed. I don't think that it was a situation where he wasn't fast enough to do it. I think that it was a situation where the defense wasn't allowing it, and that's the situation he found himself in. But I do think that he's got the top end speed to get out there and get open in those situations.
Man, I'm getting more excited. Every question we ask him, just get more and more excited about Tylan Wallace. I'll tell you what. Now, one of the things, of course, I'm sure you know this, just like everyone else, the Ravens were 31st in the league in yak yards as far as their wide receiver core goes. They're looking to improve on that this coming year. So, speak a little bit to what Tylan Wallace can provide the Ravens as far as after the catch and his ability to, gain yards afterward.
It's interesting. That was something that we didn't see a ton of his sophomore year when he was so good and was the Biletnikoff Award finalist. He didn't do a ton after the catch, but when he came back in 2019 before the knee injury, and then in 2020 after the knee injury, he showed that he really has the ability to move around and do some things when he gets the ball in his hands. He has that speed, I think, to separate from guys and get into the open field and make some things happen. So you didn't see it as much early in his career, but as he got more comfortable later in his career, he really started to show those things, and I think that's something that he has a chance to really bring to an offense, because he can do so much in a variety of routes.
Yeah, I'm excited about seeing him with the ball in his hands, because he was physical. I was really impressed with the competitive toughness he plays with, which is why I think a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people saying he might be the next Steve Smith type player. And I think that physicality as a runner is what, kind of draws those comparisons. But Scott, most people agreed that the Ravens needed to add talent to the receiver room, and specifically needed an outside threat at that position. Had a few guys that fit the mold in the slot, but it was pretty thin on the outside. Now, Tylan is PFF's highest graded wide receiver since 2018 when lined up outside with a 91 receiving grade, which is just insane. But then I've heard some analysts suggesting that a move to the slot could be best for Tylan long term. So what position do you see Tylan, fitting in best at the next level? And what made him so successful as an outside receiver? And can that translate to the NFL?
Yeah, I think he's an outside receiver. I know that the size probably makes some people balk at it a little bit, but I really believe that he's a guy that, to use the phrase I used earlier, plays bigger than he is, and in those one-on-one situations, he's a guy that makes plays, and getting him outside is the ideal spot for him, I believe. I think that it fits his skill set, his route running, and the contested catches are something that I think makes him a really good outside receiver when you're looking at all the things that are going to be asked of him out there.
So one of the questions I have, we've heard a lot of positive things about him. A lot of analysts, like Glenn said, have rated him really high, but of course the Ravens got him in the 5th round. Other than the measurables, right? Like for being an outside guy under 6 foot, like you said, that might cause a couple people to balk. Do you think there's something else that caused him to fall? Something that we're missing other than just the fact that he's not like, Miles Boykin 6'4" type size?
Yeah, no, I was a little surprised that he fell as far as he did. But I couldn't give you a good reason for why that is, other than it was a really deep draft class at the receiver position, and that might have impacted things a little bit. But I think that he did more than enough to prove that he's healthy from that knee injury, and there's no lasting effects there. I think just the fact that he's not 6'3", playing the position that he is probably something that made some people just a little bit curious about what they would be getting with him.
Yeah, I was awfully surprised, considering you got 3 years of productivity. I know he had the injury the 1 year, but I mean, ultra productive. Anytime he was on the field, the guy made plays. So, and it's one of the guys, like I mentioned, was brought up to us very early on by the fans, and was one of the receivers that I watched a bunch of tape on. And it's hard to not really like what you see. And my last question is, as a Ravens receiver, I know our fans know this most. You got to be able to block. You can't just go out and run routes and catch balls, because in Baltimore, we run the football. And so what can you tell fans about his ability as a blocker down the field?
Incredibly selfless, a guy that's going to put his body on the line, not afraid to go out and be physical. Obviously, he shows that as a receiver, but he's the same way as a blocker. He's not a guy that takes plays off. So he's going to go out there and throw a block when he's asked to. So not a concern at all when it comes to blocking with him.
Man, if I wasn't excited for Tylan Wallace before.
That's right. Giving defenses headaches all across the league.
That's right. He's just gonna be handing out Tylan. That should be his new touchdown dance. He just walks up to people and starts handing out Tylan. He could be like a Pez dispenser for Tylenol. But no, certainly that's. I'm really excited now, Scott. We appreciate your time. Why don't you let I mentioned the Oklahoman, but why don't you let folks know where they can find what you're working on?
Find everything that I do on Twitter. I tweet it all out at Scott Wright. Okay.
Awesome.
Well, thanks
again.
Well, Scott,
you're okay with us.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. And thanks for coming on with us. And hopefully we'll take another Okie State player and we can have this talk again.
Absolutely. Anytime, guys.
Okay. Have a good evening.